My favourite story is when he made me sign a blank contract, like which...
A what?
A blank contract.
Blank?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was blank?
The contract.
The numbers.
No, because remember, it used to be like a blue A4 piece of paper, like... So, it was amazing how I got this contract. So...
You were in the first team at this stage? No, yeah.
I'd played in the first team, so I'd done my YTS, and your first year's pro was a non-negotiable £100 a week contract. The letter came to your digs.
We'll get back to Crossley in just a quick second, but just remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, I absolutely love this story. He's absolutely class. The Big D is a big fan of old Big Ed himself, Brian Clough. And, man, you could not get away with what happens in this story in this day and age. Anyway, stick around for after the clip because the Big D is going to be responding to this fantastically hilarious story about Brian Clough and contracts. Here it is.
Right, so you take it or leave it. There's no agents, there were not even any mobiles then. So I was one of the lucky ones, I got the £100 a week contract. Then the following year I made my debut at 19, and he honoured it, and he'd rip that up then, and then he'd give you what you thought you was worth. Now, because he was this psychologist within himself, probably without knowing it half the time, my first contract was, I was injured at the time, it was 8:30 in the morning, I got a dead leg, you're getting assessed, he wants to know his numbers by 9 o'clock. So I've gone in anyway. As I go in, like the bath's running. I can hear like a bath, because we had little baths and a big bath then and showers, and the bath's running and you know the taps are still running. Right. So I pops my head in the bathroom and he's in the bath. The gaffer's in the bath.
8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he's having a bath. I said,
why is that the bit that blows your mind?
Come on, I want to hear the story. Shh.
I said, are you all right, boss? Get me a towel, son. So I go and get my towel, I come back, and he's gone. But his footprints are going out the dressing room, down the corridor. We've got a sauna halfway down, he's in the sauna. So I knock on the door, give him the towel. When's your contract up?
Such a great accent.
I said, end of the season. Would you like a new one? So I said, well, I'd love one. Come and meet, I'll not say what he called me, but he said, come and see me Monday morning and I'll give you a new contract. So I go and see him Monday morning, and yet to get to see him, you had to go through Carol. She said, well, he hasn't said anything to me, but he's in. I'll ring his office, go down, just down the corridor, knock on the door, walk in. He stood there, rugby shirt, green sweater, blue tracky bottoms, pair of wellies on, squash racket in his hand. I said, hello, morning, boss. He goes, what can I do for you? So I said, you've told me to come and see you about signing a new contract. Don't remember that one, son. I goes, well, you did. He goes, have a seat. So I sit down, and he opens the drawer, and he puts the contract on the table, and he said, sign that. I goes, I can't sign that. Why can't you sign it? I said, it's blank. I'll fill it in, son. And so he asked me to leave the office. So I'm literally in the corridor, and he's closed the door. So I close the door. I'm in the corridor, and like I say, you're not with an agent or a mobile. And I'm literally just walking up and down the corridor. He's going, 4 minutes. I gave you 5 to sign it, but I'm going to give you 4 now. Oh, you're off to Barnsley, where you from? They'd love you in goal for them, son. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? It's bullying, really, isn't it? So I thought, I'm going to have to go and sign it. So I goes in, and I signed the contract, and I'd been after a car as well. And to have a car, when you were young, you had to ask him. Because if he said no, you couldn't have a car. And his answer to me was, I think you're a bit of an idiot. While ever there's an idiot on the road, you're not having a car, so because I'm still driving on the road. And I asked him for months and months and months. Anyway, so I signed this blank contract. It'll be ready in the morning. So I go and pick it up Monday morning. Carol hands me some car keys. I said, what's this? She said, you wanted a car, didn't you? I said, yeah. So he's got you a car. What is it? She said, I don't know. I said, where is it? She said, it's in the car park. I said, Carol, there's 100 cars in that car. The point of this car, anyway, it's a white XR3i with a black...
Wow.
Yeah, and straight away I'm thinking, oh, no one in Barnsley's got one of them black cars. So I point at the car's flash, and then the flashes, and so I've got that car, go back in. I said to Carol, oh, thank the gaffer. She said, here's your contract. I look at the contract. Year 1, £500 a week. Year 2, £500 a week. Year 3, £500 a week. Year 4, £500 a week. In the little bonus section, Elizabeth's car. So I go, who's Elizabeth? She said, his daughter. She bought that car, she didn't like it, so he's give it you. That's not the worst. So I get the wage slip at the end of the month, and there's in the column underneath the wages, deduction, Elizabeth's car. £135. So all I did was take over the monthly payments of the car anyway. But that was just him. You know, signing that blank contract, even when I had bad times, I could never do wrong anymore. Yeah. Because I've signed a blank contract, trusted him, and he's trusted me to sign it, and that's the bond straight away.
That was probably the car contract.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, that's such a good story. That is.
Was that
It's amazing, and that
was
just
that a fair
sums it up.
contract? Was that fair?
Was you happy with that?
Were you happy with the 500?
Yeah, because you know, as players, you have a little chat with the people who are same age, right? So Stoney and Scotty Gemmell and all that. They were all on £500 a week. Yeah. So they all played in the first team. That was the standard. That was it.
That was exactly the same with us at United. He gave us all the same contract. He gave us £4,000 signing-on fee, £210 a week year 1, £230 a week year 2, £250, £270. All got a Honda Prelude. We all got the same contract. I think 8 of us. Similar
doesn't throw you his career, doesn't it?
Pardon?
That doesn't throw your career, doesn't it?
But all your stories, you've warmed towards them, have you? Like
I loved it.
You've no nastiness towards them, have you?
No.
Like a lot of players could look at that and go, hey, it was bullying, or it was out of order. But you have a lot of love for it, don't you? Yeah.
I just he changed my life. So he gave me my debut at 19 against Liverpool. So I always look back as though that man changed my life. And I don't know any players or ex-players. What I do find fascinating is the amount of ex-players that want to know what he was like. And he'll never go away. He's never going away. So...
And that's the next part of your career now. You do the after dinner. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I talk about him with, passion and
love.
Love, man.
And love, yeah, because he was such a... I don't know whether he knew what he was doing half the time, but he just,
But it was tough when you don't know. Was he tough? I know you were saying he gave you a couple of days off after the Blackburn game, but there must have been games where you went, hey.
Yeah.
He was tough.
It was tough, yeah, tough.
Yeah, what was he like?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, Mark Crossley was a bit of a prospect, an up-and-comer, and he was actually a pretty decent goalkeeper. So the amount of money that would be involved in a player of his talent in today's game, it would be astronomical. And £500 a week back in, what will that have been? Early 90s? I mean, what would that be in today's money? I mean, I've just done a quick calculation there using the old ChatGPT, and that's about £1,300 a week. And for a professional footballer, even now, that is pittance for a top-level goalkeeper who signs professional forms. I mean, goalkeepers these days, players in general these days, Premier League, even Championship, they're on about £5,000 a week. I mean, when Wayne Rooney signed his first pro Premier League contract, I think it was about 15 grand a week or something like that when he was 16. I mean, it's insane. I mean, the game has completely changed since 1990, 1991, or whenever this story transpired. 35 years. I mean, you can be a millionaire before you even turn 18, and you don't even have to be a world beater. I remember Adnan Januzaj, when he was like 18, he probably signed a contract and probably got about a £3 million signing on fee or something like that, you know, before he'd even turned 20. It's incredible. Big money in football these days. But even just how Brian Clough went about getting him to sign that contract, he was just dealing with him face to face and, yeah, playing kind of mind games. Whereas now, an 18-year-old, he's got a lawyer, he's got an agent, he's probably got his dad involved, he's probably got his mum involved, his brothers, his cousins. They've got all kinds of people involved. He's probably got a PR agent, he's probably got some kind of manager or rep, or they've got entire teams. Football players are brands unto themselves these days. I mean, just to put this into context a little bit, you know, Crossley there, when he signed that contract, was probably about 18, 19, 20, something like that. Yamin Yamal, I always get that mixed up. What is he, 17, 18? He's probably worth about £40 million as a net worth now. I mean, what was his pro contract when he first signed? I mean, he was playing in a Euros final when he was like 16. And I'm sure I read somewhere at one point he had to come off at like 70 minutes on one game during the Euros because, you know, there's child labour laws and that's classed as work. And they ran out of time for him to play. Something silly like that. So it's just weird how football has completely revolutionised in the past 30 years. And especially like compared to 30 years before 1990 as well. I mean, the difference between 1990 and now is massively different to, say, 1960 to 1990. Because the money didn't really come into football until things like Sky TV and that kind of thing sort of kicked off. And then the internet kicked off as well. So I just find these old stories with some of these old managers just absolutely fantastic. And it's really nice that he didn't take any of this personally and he understood that it was just a test. It was just a test of loyalty. Is Mark Crossley, loyal to Brian Clough? Because great managers like that, Ferguson was the same. They always cultivated loyalty. And again, you don't get a lot of that in today's game. And it's never more evident than at Manchester United now. Like over the past, 10 years, say, players will play for a little bit when a new manager came in, and then eventually they just get sick of the manager and then they down tools. And I think Ruben Amorim has understood that coming in. He's just weeded them all out straight away. The ones that are not interested, they're the ones that are going to down tools first. So he set his stall out from the beginning to see who's going to follow him and who are not. And I think over the medium to long term, that is going to benefit him. As long as he gets results moving forward. I said that a little bit like Brian Clough there. I think I've got Brian Clough on the brain. And I know Brian Clough is a little bit different to the kind of content that I usually post, but you make exceptions for the greatest English manager of all time. The greatest English manager who never managed England. And if Ruben Amorim is going to be a success at Man United, he might actually follow in the footsteps of Brian Clough, because Brian Clough was quite similar in the sense that he had his own unorthodox style. Everywhere he came in, radically changed the place very quickly, and then they became very successful very quickly. Because, if I'm not mistaken, he got promoted with Nottingham Forest in his first year. Then he won the first division in his second year. Then he won the European Cup in his third and fourth year. Something along those lines. And I tell you something, if Ruben Amorim could do anything resembling that, wow. Anyway, what do you guys think? Would Brian Clough have adapted and survived in today's game of baby millionaire footballers? Thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you next one.